Welcome to the webinar. I'm Beatrice Lam, the Field Marketing Manager for Barracuda MSP APAC. On the other line, we've got Caffrey, who is our Sales Engineer, and he'll be taking you through the presentation today. Before we start, just a couple of housekeeping. If you have any questions, please type them into the question panel and we'll cover them at the end. This session should take about 15 to 20 minutes or so. So let's get started.
Thank you very much for the introduction there, Beatrice. It's Caffrey speaking, the Solutions Engineer for APAC. Barracuda Content Shield delivers a powerful web threat protection and content filtering solution for MSPs. Powered by Barracuda's extensive threat intelligence network, Barracuda Content Shield protects users from malicious sites, inappropriate content, keeping your customers' business safer and employees more productive, especially in this environment of working from home. With more than 90 URL categories, Content Shield does more than protect your customers from malicious websites. It also ensures that your protection for the employees from accessing sites that would violate companies' policies, norms and standards, which becomes a bit more of a sticking point for those types of customers where they are now forced into a work from home environment. There is also an agentless DNS protection for all devices, which would be more suited for those on-prem type clients, from which there's probably very little now in the APAC region. So you can then protect those other types of devices, such as mobiles, where you can't put on a piece of monitoring software. The software itself comes in Mac OS X and also Windows platform. The real-time alerts about malicious detections and also the white label ability of reports and threats that are blocked on destinations, and then a few other things in terms of productivity reports, highlights the most common domain categories visited, which I'll run you through. So I'll show you that, and then also that we're able to configure this in less than a minute. Leverage your current RMM, Intune or group policy to then deploy that application. Great. All right, I'll take you through a demo of the product. So you can see here, we've got Barracuda Content Shield. Barracuda Content Shield gives you a list of your clients, so you're able to provision your clients through Content Shield to through the Echo platform, and then splice up your licenses that way. That will then push down to Barracuda Content Shield here, and for which we've pre-populated in our demo environment those licenses, for which there's DNS filtering and advanced filtering. The advanced filtering is where we would have those endpoints. We can see the total number of endpoints in this case. Support access for support to come in, and then we've also got an overview of the entire MSPs threats that are inbound, so we can see what the trend is over the past 7 days and how they trend up and down inside the separate organizations that you manage. We go onto accounts, we can see here, and we can manage the individual accounts. For instance, we've got Dr. Dental, which has 13 threats involved. So the threats that are detected are done under a range of things. And then there's also web filtering on top of that. The threat logs are leveraging the Global Threat Intelligence Network, which leverages any hash that has been inspected from and also URL by Barracuda to then for those particular threats that are coming into those local machines. We can see here there's those two laptops that are set up, the version, etc., etc. You can see the files that have been blocked, which will then dump out also into a CSV, so you can see where the locations are of those files and what's suspicious, malicious, and alike. Okay. Back to the dashboard, we've got our DNS for primary and secondary DNS. So if you were to set up those forwarders for the basic DNS filtering of those devices on those local networks where people might still reside within office buildings and alike, you can put those forwarders in and filter that traffic too. We go through to DNS filtering, so that's just adding those locations to filter the physical locations. Under filtering, we have classifications. Those classifications are synced to a user, so it can be an individual user, or it could be set to everyone. For instance, if you're not LDAP synced to Azure, then you could give an everyone policy, and then anyone that has the agent installed, they will have blocks and certain allows. In this case, users allowed to test, to Kmaster. We've got, Reddit is blocked because we don't want him to be perhaps looking at these things whilst we need him to be productive in this time where you would need him the most. Under the web filtering logs, this just gives you a punch by punch individual reason for what has been blocked and what has been allowed. We have here, Kyle's been going to Fox News, or Barracuda in this case has been going to Fox News. We didn't want him to be going down that route of looking at news categories in this case. Using the global threat intelligence network, we can protect against malware and scan for executables, PDFs, and alike. Put them into the quarantine if there are password protected files and encrypted files, or we can allow those. And you can also allow local exceptions for those machines that have maybe a software that hasn't been written quite right. It might not be using program files. It might be using something in the C drive where it has been detected that it is not doing it the right way within the makeup of Windows. Those files that have been quarantined will be in the quarantine section here. So then we can then restore those files or go through and delete them. Once again, with the threat log, same thing again. Under reports, there's been quite a few additional reports here that they've generated in the past months. We can block on, we can report on block categories, on total users and per user report. So we can select the individual user and see what they've been doing in terms of what they've been accessing in a nice report that you can give to directors or managers to then see if those particular end users are adhering to the company policy or not. It gives you the top block domains and alike. So once again, Kyle's been on Reddit, and maybe we want to ensure that he has a productive day. So that's why we're and he's been to poker. So maybe he's doing some things during lunch. But on the other hand, we just want to make sure that everything is in alignment, and will give you and your clients better insights to what your individual users are doing on a day-to-day basis. Endpoints, these are just the endpoints that we have installed those on. Gives you a bit of information on the actual endpoint itself, and then the threats there. Under alerts, you can customize alerts depending if threats have been detected or not, and if agents have been installed. Under downloads, so this is where I mentioned that there is a Windows agent and a Mac OS agent. This is where you download those, and then also the configuration files. They also can run you through on Barracuda campus by installing it on an RMM, and it's just a matter of calling that install file and also that the configuration file to then deploy that. Users directories can be set up so we can use Azure AD to then bring those users in, and then you can report nicely on that. Now that things have gone to Intune and then Azure AD, a lot of endpoints are going that way. We've fully embraced that here at Barracuda. And then once again, as I mentioned, that there is custom branding. You can see here we've just uploaded a logo of Route 60, and then the ways that these devices update. So you can do it manually, automatically, or at a specific time. It will be up to your choice. For those individuals that have local admin users on their machines, and there's always a director or a high level management that wants to have that god-like power, which we really don't want to give because they can be more trouble than they're worth. We also have a password that can protect that, and then also CPU throttling on the actual on the agent there. The block page can be customizable, HTML, or you can just have the default Barracuda one there. So yeah, custom HTML in there. Cool. All right. I'll pass it back to Beatrice and we'll go for a Q&A.
Great. Thank you, Matt, for presenting the solution, our content shield solution. So, yep. Hey guys, if you have any questions, just please type them in the question panel and we'll go through them now. So we've got a couple that just came through now. Matt, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Yep, sure. So the first question is from Andrew. So he's asking, what have Barracuda seen in terms of malicious websites out there?
So malicious websites, we tend to see up over 18 million at any given point in time. So there's definitely a lot of compromised WordPress sites and Joomla sites that can, people can fall victim to. So yeah, it's definitely a scary place out there, but we maintain that through our global threat network there.
Cool, thank you. And the next question is from Simon. Can you deploy Content Shield on its own, or do you have to do it through Managed Workplace?
So yeah, we do have an RMM, which is Managed Workplace, our security-centric RMM. But we do obviously give you the option to deploy it in whatever means you wish. Could be group policy, could be Intune and the like. So up to you on how you want to deploy it. It's not reliant upon that.
Great, thank you, Matt. And the next question is from Aaron. You mentioned that the threat logs are managed by a threat intelligence network. What is that? Yeah,
so the Global Threat Intelligence Network is a whole range of endpoints out there that we have where we can leverage threats that we have discovered either through our devices or our email security engines and alike. Leveraging the ATP sandboxing, which is built into Content Shield, we're able to isolate those threats by inspecting the payloads and then having a safeguard against those. So yeah.
Great. And great, we've got two more questions. So the next one's from Wayne. What is the average number of rules that each company has?
Generally, from my experience personally as a system administrator, and also from what I see out there when we're setting these up for clients, they're done on a security group basis. So you can leverage your Office 365 security groups and then have it departmentalized. You can also allow for exceptions for certain users, so you can do it on a group or user basis. I would go down the group option myself, and then so therefore it depends on how many groups you want to secure that down. It can be 10, can be 25, depending on the size of the organization.
Cool, awesome, thank you for the tip. And final question is from Alan. Do you offer NFR for Content Shield?
We do offer an NFR for Content Shield. So yeah, just at the end of this, let us know, and then we can go ahead with setting it up for your organization to test that. Obviously in this these changing times, yeah, we can obviously get that going for you straight away. And when it comes to the licensing, it is easily split up. So when you're provisioning your licensing on Echo, you would have your licenses. You would create your customer. You would assign the licenses to that customer, and then from there you would actually be able to then provision, no matter what time of day or night. There's some people here on this call that have our email security products, and it works exactly the same way.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Matt. And I believe that's all the questions that we have for today. So, yep, great. Thank you, everyone, for jumping on today's webinar. I know things have been a bit crazy right now. I hope you guys stay well. And good luck with everything. And hopefully we'll see you at our next webinar. Thank you, Matt. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Stay safe, everyone. Thank you. Bye.